Today we're diving into a classic that's been slicing and dicing its way through the MMO scene since 2010, Vindictus. Developed by Nexon, this free-to-play MMORPG is all about heart-pounding hack-and-slash action. If you're into brutal combat, epic bosses, and dark fantasy vibes, stick around because we're breaking down what makes Vindictus tick. Its story, its core gameplay, and why this unique entry into the MMO genre might be worth revisiting. Let's jump in and be sure to subscribe to keep up to date on the MMO genre. Vindictus is a fast-paced action MMORPG that dropped in 2010. This game's all about intense real-time combat built on Valve's Source engine. It delivers destructible environments and a physics system that lets you yeet objects at enemies. Unlike traditional MMOs with sprawling open worlds, Vindictus uses a hub-based system that reminds me of Warframe, where you pick missions, gear up, and dive into instance dungeons. With 26 unique characters, each with their own fighting style, it's a game that rewards skill and style. Best of all, it's free to play, and it's still getting updates today, so there's always fresh content to explore. Alright, let's briefly touch on the story here. Vindictus is set in a gritty Celtic mythology-inspired world, hundreds of years before Mabinogi. You play as a mercenary in the Crimson Blades, fighting to survive in a land crawling with monsters called Fomors. The story kicks off with you joining this ragtag crew battling to reach Erin, a promised paradise. It unfolds episodically across seasons like a dark fantasy anime. Season 1 has you caught in a human Fomor war, Season 2 takes you to the island of Melina with treasure hunting coffer chasers, and Season 3 dives into the underground city of Burb, where everyone's losing their memories. This whole story is told through visual novel-style chats with NPCs, spiced up with slick cutscenes, and some occasional voice acting, though not much. In terms of the story's vibe, think The Witcher meets God of War for its dark and mythic vibe, but with a cooperative twist. And if the game looks fun, I've tossed a link to it down in the description where you can play it for free right now. And if you do decide to play, then be sure to use code HERO25LUCKY for massive rewards to help you get started. There's loads of different types of content in Vindictus, but the bread and butter is its instance dungeons. You start in a hub town like Colon, pick a mission, and dive into linear stages filled with enemies, traps, and epic boss fights. These missions are bite-sized, perfect for quick sessions, and you can roll solo or with up to 4 other players. Though it's worth noting, some raids even support 8 players or more. Each dungeon feels like a mini adventure, ending with a massive boss that'll test your reflexes. It's a lot like Monster Hunter's Hunt missions or Destiny 2's Strikes, but with a focus on melee combos and environmental chaos. You can smash crates, chuck spears, or even grapple enemies for brutal finishers. The variety and fast pacing helps keep the dungeons feeling like fun romps through varying environments. Now, an MMO like this isn't really any fun if it doesn't have some decent character progression systems built into it. Vindictus skips the create a character system. Instead, you choose between 26 different classes, like Lon, the dual sword speedster, or Fiona, the shield-wielding tank, or the one I chose, Evie, because I was craving some flashy mage-style gameplay. Once you've chosen your class, you can change the way they look, like their thickness or changing their hair color and so on. Each one of these classes has unique skills and playstyles, so players will have no problem finding the right playstyle for them. You level up, you unlock new combos and abilities, and craft gear in the hub town. The game does have a cash shop that offers cosmetics like dyes and outfits, as well as some quality of life items, but you can progress through this entire game without spending a dime. Now, this game's passive tree is nothing like, say, Path of Exiles, but it does offer quite a few skills and passives for you to choose from, and once you unlock those, you can choose to further customize them by leveling them up. And it's here where you're really going to customize and tailor your character to your liking as you play through the game. I chose to build a fire mage and then grab passives that further enhanced my fire damage. The more fire abilities I casted consecutively, the more fire damage I did, culminating in a massive fire dot. This ended up being a fun playstyle, unlike anything I've played in any other MMO before, and I really enjoyed that about it. And I think that's one of the things about this game that's really worth noting is it's truly a unique experience. Now, while you can play the game completely solo, as I have here, Vindictus shines in co-op. You can team up with friends or randoms to tackle missions, trade gear, or form clans to take on raid bosses. The hub towns are social hubs where you barter, craft, or just vibe with other players, and it's definitely not as open world as Warcraft's sprawling world, but instead the instant setup makes it feel more tight, focused, and cooperative. Side quests from NPCs add flavor, and a constant flow of community events that you can join into keep the community engaged. If you love squad-based action like Left 4 Dead or Monster Hunter World, Vindictus's group dynamic will feel right at home. So what is Vindictus typically praised for? First of all, it's combat, with many saying that the game's combat was ahead of its time. The hack and slash system with combos, dodges, and special moves feel like Devil May Cry or Bayonetta in an MMO wrapper. Then you've got the Source Engine's physics to let you interact with the environment, allowing you to smash a pillar to crush enemies like in God of War. Players love the satisfying feedback of chaining attacks and grappling foes, which sets it apart from button mashing MMOs like Terra. While the game has been out for a while now, the visuals seem to hold up well enough with detailed characters and explosive effects that remind me of flashy Black Desert Online abilities. I noticed one common complaint from players was that the dungeons can start to feel a little bit repetitive in the early game, but fortunately once you reach the end game, you're able to branch out and dive into other activities like climbing this tower, featuring more difficult bosses and challenges on each floor that you manage to ascend. Or you can dive into raid boss fights like this one, either solo or with other players, but be warned, either these raid boss fights are pretty tough at my level or I'm just bad at the game. Both are entirely possible. All in all, Vindictus feels like an incredibly unique MMO that proves you don't need a massive open world to deliver epic action. A lot of the unique feel of this MMO comes from the fact that it's built on the Source Engine. Its fast-paced combat, slick visuals, and co-op vibes make it worth trying for fans of Monster Hunter, Devil May Cry, or Warframe, especially since it's completely free to play. And on that note, if it's sounding fun, now's the perfect time to try it out if there ever was one, because right now they've got rare Orna gear and fast track growth available so that you get more progress with less grind. So whether you decide to check the game out for a weekend or play it for a year, you're definitely going to get your money's worth, being that it's free and all. And whether you're soloing a dragon or raiding with the squad, it's a rough around the edges thrill ride that definitely feels like it comes from another time, but in a somewhat refreshing way. If all that sounds good, download it for free right now using the link in the description and give it a spin. And don't forget to use coupon code HERO25LUCKY to help you get started in the game right away and alleviate some of that grind. Now, nothing shows you what it's like to play a game like actually playing the game. So let's run through a dungeon here for you. All right, so you spawn into one of these zones just like this one here. These areas behave just like a dungeon, so you're gonna run through it and kill everything you see while trying not to die, just like you would expect. It looks like it's a really nice day in the game today. Unlike where I'm at in real life today, it is hot as balls. All of my attacks are AoE, so it kind of bugs when I run into a bunch of guys like this that are not stacked, but we're going to do our best to stack them when we can here. I'll come down with a single attack. We're going to run to the next pack of enemies, kill them, and then I think we should just about be at the boss of this. These runs, as you can see, are very short. Oh, great. It's a bunch of archers. Let's see. We might be able to get something to stack here. But as you can see, this is going really fast. Sometimes you'll be able to find treasures tucked off in corners or nooks of the map, little jumping puzzles. Nice big AoE there, let's go. Big damage fire mage, so we've got long cast times, but we've got big damage behind those long cast times. And at the end of these dungeons, we will find a boss. Oh. Got my mana shield absorbing this incoming damage. That's what that blue glow around my health bar is. It's what allows me to stand and cast these long cast time abilities. Gives me a second to get them off. It's really nice to have. I appreciate that. Big boom. And now it's time for the final boss of this area. It looks like it is some kind of demon-infused Mother Nature elk abomination. I'm not sure what this thing is, to be honest with you. But, you know, we're going to kill it all the same. So let's go ahead and dive into this battle. We'll try to dodge some of his attacks and close the gap here. And now that we're close enough, we're going to go ahead and unload some big damage spells on him. while trying to dodge his incoming attacks. This is very much an action game, so it's all about dodging and then counter-attacking, unleashing combos. Now I'm going to go into my ultimate form, and this basically gives me a ton more life, a ton more damage, and just makes me all around stronger, so I can let off big damage here. What I really wish it did is shorten my cast time for some of these longer charge-up abilities. That would feel really good. And they do have 25 other classes, many of which attack a lot faster than this one. This is probably one of the slowest playing classes, so if this just isn't your play style, this isn't your jam, I totally get that. But fear not, they've got way faster classes that you can choose between. Dual wielding, melee, you know, all kinds of stuff. Whether you like slow, big damage attacks or fast, smaller damage attacks, you know, they've got you covered. Knocking trees down. Oh, but we got him. And then when you kill the boss, you get a little kill cam like this one here that just gives you random slow motion shots of the boss dying. And then once that's over, you have a nice little loot pinata. All of your rewards pop out of them. And then one of the most common things you'll do once you get back to town is open up your skill menu, and you'll choose which skills you want to upgrade, which passives you want to unlock and upgrade. You can choose any one of these. For instance, we could invest in our battle respiration, which if we hover over it, it says it's going to increase our stamina recovery in combat. Or we could come over here to the combat tab. As you see, there's lots of tabs. We've maxed out combat mastery. Otherwise, we'd be able to put more points into this for increased attack damage or increased mana shield. That's what was preventing the enemies from hurting me when they hit me. Or we could rank up our fireball that we were firing off at enemies if it wasn't already maxed out here. That was one of the first things I did. And so there's quite a bit of customization you could do. Alternatively, I could have made this into a ice mage or a lightning mage, and then further kind of customize that by leaning into different combinations of attacks that I could combo together. Now, there's lots of different ways you could build this character, and I'm only just scratching the surface of this character and what it has to offer. It looks like I've got quite a few hours of upgrading this character and unlocking new skills and new passives ahead of me here. So if you are someone with a lot of experience in the game, feel free to chime in and add your 2 cents, recommendations for ways to build out Eevee in this game or other characters that you really like. And so that's kind of the gameplay loop here. You'd finish the quests, upgrade your skills, upgrade your passives, potentially head into town over here to talk to some of the NPCs, proceed some of the quests, or even some of the side quests that are available to you. And then you'd head back to the board and pick the next mission that you're going to run back on out to. Like I mentioned before, it reminds me a lot of games like Warframe. So if the game looks fun, I placed a link to it down in the description so that you can try it out for free yourself. And again, thank you to Nexon for sponsoring this video and giving me a chance to try this game out. If you're a veteran of the game, what's your favorite Vindictus character or moment? What keeps you coming back to this game? Drop it in the comments below and let us know. It's always fun to hear from players that have spent quite a bit of time in the game. As always, thanks so much for watching. Smash that like button and subscribe for more gaming goodness. Until next time, keep slaying mercenaries and peace out. And massive shout out to my channel members. If you want to become a channel member for behind the scenes footage and access to a private Discord channel and more, hit the join button down below. If you're not sure what to do next, maybe check out one of these MMO videos popping up on screen right now. See you in the next one.